Our Hidden River PLC journey started in 2014, and it was a low point for us as a staff. Our school was underperforming. Our kids weren't showing much growth on our state assessments. Our staff was frustrated. There was a culture of isolation happening here in our building. And I remember our first data conversation we had as a staff mid-semester. We looked at the number of failing students in our school, and we compared that to our local high school. And we had twice the number of kids receiving Fs that year, and they had 4 times the number of kids. And that really hit us right between the eyes, and we knew as a staff something had to change. And we centered our conversation around one question, and that question was, if our own kids went to this school, what kind of school would we want for them? That's the kind of school we want to create for every single student that walks through our doors. And that's how our journey started.
We are a mission-oriented staff. The staff here really values the idea of being part of something that's bigger than themselves.
They have continued to build what it looks like to really work collaboratively as a team for the needs of all of their students.
The team at Hidden River really did come together as a team to understand my son, to figure out what they could do to best support his success.
It's not my kids versus your kids. We all work together to make sure that students get the learning and the education that they deserve.
Because again, these 4s are just going to take their story that they plotted out with a different conflict, and they're just going to write it.
Okay.
Rewrite
5, 6.
that scene.
Oh, and they can do that independently.
Yes.
Yeah.
And there are 11 of them.
Okay.
And you're good with
Yeah,
that?
because then the other 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, I can work with.
A real influence that Hidden River teachers have on the rest of Monroe School District is that it's hard to ignore that 8 miles down the road is a school that is doing it, that is working for all students, that doesn't take the first attempt at learning as the only attempt at learning, and that maybe the students didn't end up where they thought that they should be at the end of that, but then introspectively asking one another as a team, what are we going to do different this time in order to meet the needs of kids?
We often will talk within our team about what did you do to teach those students that standard at that level.
So there's just such a wide variety, and since every student here is so different, we really have to figure out what each kid needs uniquely to give them the best education we can.
The work that Hidden River has done has really set the bar and the model for our school district in a climate that has been very reticent at times to be very transparent with their data and their work with their peers. They transcended that culture.
The great thing about the formatives, because we generate them, is that we can look at data and we can go, you know what, is this a kid, are students not understanding this? Or is this an us thing?
We have the opportunity to reclaim the school experience for kids as we show them over and over again how they're making small steps of progress.
I just think this is so worth it. It was really hard when they first came in, but now that I see where they are, I have so much hope for their future, and I think they have hope for their future.
We are becoming that school we dreamed about for our own children in 2014. We have become a beacon of hope for the kids that walk through our doors. Not only for our own students here at Hidden River, we've become that for kids all across our state. When schools in our state want to know how to implement inclusionary practices, for example, for students that have IEPs, and they call our state office, they send those schools to Hidden River. And that never would have happened 5 years ago. And it's because we have a courageous staff that relentlessly pursues excellence for every kid. And they will do whatever it takes to help each student learn at a high level. And the great thing is as our story is being written, we still have part of that story yet to write.